Back in 2010, in an era of remakes, Nightmare fans finally got a reimagining of their beloved icon Freddy Krueger. But how does this remake hold up to the originals? What's up everyone, I'm Trap, I love movies, and today we're chatting about A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 2010 remake. This was a feature directorial debut by Samuel Bayer, and written by Wesley Strick and Eric Heiserer. I'll go over my pros and cons as well as my own personal rating, all spoiler free here, but if you've seen this movie, stick around to the very end. I'll get into a little spoiler chat where we can really slash this thing open. So the plot is very similar to the original film. Teenagers of Springwood's dreams are being overtaken by a burned figure named Freddy Krueger, and if he kills you in your dreams, you die for real. But let's get right into this. The good stuff. I don't have too much good stuff to say about this movie, but I don't really have too much bad stuff to say about it either. It's just a movie that doesn't give you a lot to talk about. I have been a fan of the original movies for a very long time, so I had some high expectations for this, like a lot of us did, but I don't think I hate it on the level that a lot of other people do. I don't really like it either though. For what it is and when it came out, the film looks okay. The cinematography isn't anything to shout out about, but it's not bad. A lot of the acting isn't anything memorable, but it's not really bad either, except for one character. But most importantly, I feel that Jackie Earle Haley does a good job as Freddy Krueger. I don't necessarily love the visual makeup of Freddy in this film. I get that they're trying to make it more realistic, like an actual burn victim, and when he's not lit very well, I think it looks awesome. But when the light's on him and he's in full display, But yeah, I don't really have much negative to say, if anything, about Jackie Earle Haley's performance as Freddy. I think it was a great approach that he took, not doing exactly what Robert Englund would have done, taking his own spin on it. I think it was good. Anyone who has seen any of my videos before know that I like my horror dark and serious, and this movie definitely does that. To its own fault, I think. I was really excited that the movie decided to take a more realistic approach and get darker and more serious with the tone and the narrative, but there were some decisions in that department that I think they shouldn't have done. And let's just get into that. The bad stuff. I think the biggest negative I have about this movie is the lack of creativity. I mean, we're in 2010 here. Better effects, whether they're practical or computer generated, are more accessible at this point. And we've had decades at this point of this iconic character and what he can do. And I feel like they should have just taken it all out. I mean, the dream sequences should have been huge in this movie. I mean, he can literally do anything or be anything in these dream sequences, and the movie just feels so tame in that department. I mean, go nuts. Why not? Another negative that I have is I don't really necessarily care about any of the characters here. They're not terribly written. They're not greatly represented in the acting department either, but I just kind of don't care about them. There's nothing pulling me in to feel an emotional connection with these characters. The closest that I get in that department is the character Quentin. I feel like he really cared in delivering his performance in this film, but Rooney Mara, who plays Nancy on the other hand, I mean, what happened? I'm not really familiar with her as an actress or any of her other work, so I can't say much about her acting in general, but in this film, it feels like she did not care at all.
What happened to you? Whose blood is that? Is it your blood?
Listen. And I get she's supposed to be the kind of outcast character who doesn't fit in. She's kind of quiet and weird. And near the end of the film, she's sleep deprived. But I mean, from the first scene, it's just like she didn't care at all, basically. Katie Cassidy and Thomas Dekker didn't do horrible either by any means. I think it's more just not enjoying their characters as much. That pulls me down a little bit, but yeah, just nothing memorable here. And there was a big decision made in regards to Freddy Krueger's character himself that they did here that I don't know if it's really a spoiler or not. I'll get into it in the spoiler chat, but there's something in that department that doesn't really sit well with me either. So overall, I don't hate this movie. I just don't like it either. I never have a want or need to watch this movie. I've probably seen it 3 times in my life, including this recent watch for this video. And before that, I don't think I had watched it since 2010 or 2011. I've always owned it. I just never have the desire to put it in and watch it. So I'm going to give this a 2.75 out of 5, I guess. I get why a lot of people would rate it a lot lower than that. Maybe there's a few people out there that were younger when this came out, or maybe they weren't familiar with the franchise beforehand, that maybe hold it in a higher regard, and that's great. I'm not one of you, but good for you guys. But hey, that's just me. What do you guys think of Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 Remake? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to talk about this. If you're new here, welcome. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It'd really help this brand new channel grow. Really appreciate it. All right, that's my spoiler-free take. If you guys haven't seen the movie, go check it out. It's worth one watch at least. Come on back and we can get into this thing a bit deeper. But there's your warning. So I don't really want to ramble about this movie any longer than I already have. But in regards to the kills in this movie, there's just nothing really special about it. It completely recreates a lot of scenes from the first film, even down to the glove coming out of the bathtub, what was Tina's death being thrown across the room. There's just nothing memorable here to really grasp onto. The issue I mentioned in the bad stuff that I have with Freddy Krueger's character that they did in this film is kind of 50-50 with me. I know that this is the reason most people hate this movie, and that is they bring to the forefront the fact that Freddy Krueger was a child molester, not just a child murderer. And I get that. That's totally valid. There was that one quick little glimpse I saw in The Dream Child, which if you haven't seen my review on that movie, go check that out after this. There's a quick little glimpse there that kind of made it canon back then. But it's not that I hate that they brought it to the forefront with this character. It's just the topic in general I don't like seeing or hearing about in movies, or seeing people act that way in movies, like him licking her face and some of the things he says in that regard. I just don't enjoy it. It makes me dislike movies when I see things like that. As far as this movie trying to go more realistic and darker than the franchise was in the past, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, yes, there's child murderers out there, but I imagine most of those are also chomos. If people are that sick and twisted, it doesn't surprise me that they would go to that next step. So as much as I don't enjoy it, I get it, why they made the decision, I guess. I wish it wasn't so prominent in the film. They definitely made it to where you can't see Freddy, the antagonist, as the person you're rooting for in these films. You're definitely not rooting for him in this film. If you are, you got some problems. But as a reimagining of the character and story, I don't hate that I can't root for him. I mean, he's the bad guy. I'm able to take a step back and see this as a reimagining and accept that. I just wish it wasn't so prominent. I mean, basically, if there's a character in a movie that does things like that, you want them to die the most horrible death possible, but we know that you can't necessarily do that with Freddy in this franchise. So it's a very mixed bag for me. I just kind of wish it wasn't there. Wish it was different. I do enjoy the kind of investigation work that Quentin and Nancy do in this film to remember and figure out what really happened in the past. I think that's one of the only things about the movie that I do enjoy. I don't enjoy the section of the movie where they think that they were lying as children, which is what got Freddy murdered by their parents.
How do you know he was guilty? You killed an innocent man.
I get that maybe people, if in a outlandish position like these kids are at that point in time, may have thoughts like that, but as us as viewers, it's like, no, he did it. I mean, we're watching the movie. I don't like that they tried to twist you like that and make you for a moment think that maybe Freddy was innocent in this film. It just makes no sense. Obviously, he was not innocent. He wouldn't have come back as a friggin' dream demon and still be murdering teenagers out of anger about being lied about like that. It starts to kind of unravel the whole thing for me. Obviously, that doesn't last very long, and we find out that he did do those things officially. Near the end, there's the scene where they're in Freddy's cave, or whatever they call it, where he did all these unspeakable acts, and they find pictures of Nancy as a child. Luckily, they don't show these pictures, but that's the one moment in the movie where I feel some emotional weight. It's not coming from Rooney Mara's acting, maybe more so with Quentin, but just the feeling in general. I mean, imagining being in their shoes and finding that and it being solidified. Oh man, makes me glad I had a good childhood. But overall, like I said, I don't hate the movie. I don't like it. I never have the want or need to watch it. I think Jackie Earle Haley did good. I know that if they do another remake of this character, he likely would not return because of the backlash that this movie got, and good for him. I wouldn't be opposed to him doing it again, though. I think he did a great job. I think he just got handed a bad movie and a bad reimagining of this iconic character. So hopefully, if and when that time comes, when we do get another remake of The Nightmare on Elm Street, they do things in a way that not only pleases the longtime diehard fans, I don't want it to be a complete fan service, but just be more creative. Do things that are memorable. Make the dream sequences crazy. If you're not going to play it safe with Freddy's character and his actions that he did to set up this movie, don't play it safe in the dream sequences themselves or the kills. And that's really why people are showing up to see your movie. I feel like they just dropped the ball big time on this one. But that's all I got with this movie. I'm very glad to have finally wrapped up my first franchise. I'm glad I chose this one first. This franchise has a lot of stinkers in it, but when it hits hard, and some of these films are extremely important to me as a horror fan and growing up a horror fan. So it made sense for me to do these first. But anyways, again, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. You can check out all my other Nightmare reviews right up here, and I'll be releasing a ranking of these films very soon. I'll see you guys next time.